Jules Kunde to Manchester City, the shadow that never left. 1. The beginning of a long courtship. Back in 2020, Jules Kunde was not yet a household name, but his impact at Sevilla had turned heads across Europe. Among those watching was Pep Guardiola, ever the tactician, always searching for defenders with composure on the ball and tactical intelligence off it. Guardiola is a manager who sees a footballer not just for what he is, but for what he could become in the right system. Kunde, even then, fit that vision. A phone call happened. Guardiola called the young Frenchman personally and praised his reading of the game, positional versatility, and passing range. The admiration was mutual, but Manchester City did not act. They went for Ruben Dias, a defender who would go on to become their new Vincent Kompany. But the seed was planted. 2. Why Kunde still fits Pep's master plan. Pep Guardiola has always built dynasties by reimagining how defenders operate. From Philipp Lahm to João Cancelo, from Kyle Walker to Nathan Ake, his defenders are not defenders in the traditional sense. They are part engineers of the midfield, part sentinels at the back, and part playmakers under pressure. Jules Kunde is the archetype of a Guardiola defender. Speed and agility, able to cover wide spaces and recover quickly. Ball-playing ability, a natural at building from the back. Tactical discipline, learns systems quickly and performs under structured environments. Multi-role capacity, a center back by nature but capable of playing as a right back or even hybrid wide midfielder. The fact that City are again in the market for a defender with these exact characteristics after letting go of João Cancelo, Kyle Walker, and Aymeric Laporte over the past 2 seasons is no coincidence. Guardiola needs a new cornerstone, someone who understands structure but breaks lines with bravery. 3. Inside the negotiation room. As of July 2025, Manchester City have made their intentions clear. They are willing to offer between $70–80 million for Jules Kunde. Negotiations with Barcelona have not reached official bid status yet, but informal dialogues have been ongoing. Barcelona are torn. Financially, they are improving, but not completely stable. Selling Kunde would hurt their defensive balance, especially with Ronald Araujo attracting interest from PSG and Bayern. But the bid would allow them to secure long-term contracts for younger players like Lamine Yamal, Fermin Lopez, and Vitor Roque. City, aware of this tension, are playing the long game. Their offer is not just financial, it includes add-ons based on trophies won and appearances, a clause for percentage of resale, a potential player swap discussion involving either Calvin Phillips or Sergio Gomez. 4. What Kunde would bring to City's system. Let's break this down tactically. Imagine Manchester City's shape in the 2025-26 season. Ederson Kunde, Stones Gvardiol Rodri, pivot, Bernardo De Bruyne, Foden Doku Haaland Alvarez. In this system, Kunde could function as a right center-back who steps into midfield when City dominate possession, a ball carrier who breaks the first press with short vertical passes, a recovery defender to replace Walker's elite tracking speed on transitions. More than anything, Kunde's presence would allow Stones to push forward again with confidence, knowing there's pace and structure behind. 5. Kunde's mentality. Ready for a new challenge? Sources from inside the French national camp suggest Kunde is open to a new adventure. While he loves Barcelona and has grown into a leadership role under Hansi Flick, there's a sense that he's already plateaued. The competitiveness of La Liga is declining, and the allure of Premier League football, weekly battles against world-class attackers, calls to him. He's ready, said one source. He wants to be pushed again. He's not afraid of Pep's intensity. In fact, he wants it. At 26, Kunde is entering his prime, and players in their prime want one thing: to win at the highest level. 6. The money factor. Can City afford it? Let's be clear. Yes, Manchester City can afford the deal. The club is preparing to offload fringe players, including Calvin Phillips, valued at $30 million, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, already in talks with Southampton, Sergio Gomez, targeted by La Liga clubs. City's net spend would remain manageable, especially after winning multiple domestic and continental trophies. But there's another factor: The Premier League financial rules. City are currently defending themselves against over 100 financial charges. Although this case remains unresolved, they're being cautious. That means every move has to be smart, not just expensive. Kunde is not just a $75 million player. He is an investment in long-term squad flexibility. 7. Fans' reaction and future leadership. Among Manchester City fans, excitement is growing. Kunde has always had a cult following among those who watch football through the lens of tactics and intelligence. He's not flashy, but he's consistent, smart, and a natural leader. In online forums and fan blogs, Kunde is exactly what we need. Someone who combines Stone's intelligence with Walker's mobility. He gives us a back three option that can morph into anything mid-game. Guardiola will love that. Some fans have already started mocking up lineups with Kunde in the squad, imagining partnerships with Stones, Dias, and Guardiola. It's clear, if this deal goes through, it will be one of City's most complete defensive additions since Ruben Dias. 8. What would Barca do if they lose him? Barcelona are not blind to the risk. Losing Kunde would mean they must immediately promote Mikhail Faye or Pau Cubarsí full-time. Might need to recall Eric Garcia from loan. Would have to enter the market late, where prices are inflated. They are negotiating with Girona's Arnau Martinez as a potential emergency replacement, but he lacks the maturity of Kunde. This is why Barca are hesitating. The risk of weakening the team just before the Champions League group stage is immense. 9. Will the deal happen? Let's look at the possibilities. Outcome probability: Kunde joins City, summer. 65% Kunde stays one more year. 25% Kunde signs new contract. 10% City are in control of the timing. Barcelona are in control of the resistance. Kunde himself is the wild card. If he pushes for the move, Barca may have no choice. 10. Final thought. A transfer that makes too much sense. Jules Kunde to Manchester City feels like a move that's been 5 years in the making. It suits the player. He's ready. It suits the club. Pep needs him. It suits the system. He fits. It suits the moment. City must evolve after a draining treble season. There are no guarantees in football. But this move is not just logic. It's fate delayed. And maybe now that call Guardiola made in 2020 will finally pay off.